Thank you for joining us for session number 16 of the Unsung Tales, a one-ring actual play on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. To find all the sessions of this game, visit happyjacks.org/unsungtales, without the. And to find all the shows on the Happy Jacks Network, please visit happyjacks.org. My name is Kimi. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your Loremaster for this game. We have been so many amazing places. And let's go ahead and go around the table. Just so you know, we are using safety tools for this game. We did lines and veils way back in the beginning, and we do update them. We also have X card in play and other safety tools. And so take care of yourself, and we take care of each other. Let's go ahead and start on this side of the table.
Nah! Who am I? What am I doing here?
Starting strong.
For some reason, I really thought you were going the other way today, and I don't know why. Ooh, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kadave. I will be playing Hannar, Dwarf of Durin's folk. We are both he, him. And nervous about leaving, because things seem nice and safe here. Especially, we just met Glorfindel and got him all of his, elven conspiracy theory leads. And his stuff seems a little bit above our pay grade in general. I don't know. It makes me nervous. We'll see. But excited.
Hi, guys. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. And I'm here to continue to play Aerlind of Mithlond, who uses he, they pronouns, who just got a map from Glorfindel, and he's going to be really normal about it. I don't care that it looks like a yarn board. It's a great map.
It's a beautiful map.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sam. I play Runa of Bree, a Barding treasure hunter. We both use she, her pronouns. And I think I'm excited to get going on another adventure, but a little sad to leave my new besties. The princes of...
Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. They will miss you too. All right. So last time you had an amazing, many meetings in Rivendell. We had scenes where you saw the vaults underneath with Lady Arwen. You saw some amazing historic items, some of which you realized what they were, and some of them you didn't. But a lot of us were screaming silently inside us as we saw different things from Middle Earth. Yeah, Kai specifically. We also had great little moments where each one of you was bonding with elves, getting to know the people of Rivendell, learning to draw in Hannar's case so that he can better represent the things he saw in his vision from the Palantir. We had a scene in the library where Aerlind met a young upstart kid who... This human kid is in Rivendell for some reason named Estelle, and it was strange that he's there. Who knows who that is? We know. It's us. We know. And we had an amazing set of scenes where Runa was just completely broing out with Elrond's twin sons, who were just the most amazing bro dudes of elfendom.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's super good. And then all of you came together and you had an amazing scene with Glorfindel where you got to know him, you got to talk, and he kind of also echoed your concerns about the darkness spreading. And in fact, he's been studying it and sending out scouts and spies and collecting all the information he can, some of which you were able to add to, some of which he was able to give you as well. And he had maps all over his the room he was in, and he's been tracking all the rumors of darkness spreading. And before you left, he gifted you with a map that had some of those things written on it, which I posted the link in chat. I will also post it with this episode for those of you who want to go see it. There's a actual one you can look at. It's digital. Pretend the font I picked is Glorfindel's handwriting. And so you can see some of the things there. All right. Did I miss anything important? I think this is the main idea. Okay. All right. So you have woken up in another morning, and it is a beautiful day in Rivendell. with their indoor-outdoor lifestyle. And yeah, why don't we start with breakfast? It's always a nice way to start. So you are together sitting. There's these long tables that are kind of like people come and sit at them, and some people might sit down a little bit, some people might join you. At this particular moment, there's other elves eating as well, but you are all kind of together on this long table with no one sitting like real close to you. So what would you like to talk about?
I think since we got the map, it's like become physically a part of Aerlind. I don't think that they've put it down unless someone has asked for it. And then he's like, of course, here, you look at this. I'm going to go be normal for 5 minutes. What did you discover on the map? And it's just one of those things where he's learning the map as intricately as possible and kind of trying to analyze what else could be there. And so the rest of the time we've been in Rivendell, he's been very like upstanding elf, not having paper spread all over the table when we're eating meals. Today there's a map.
All right. Hannar, how are you doing this morning?
I think excited to explore these locations. I think Hannar's also probably a little sad about not working on drawing stuff.
Aw, okay.
So like the idea of leaving is making him a little sad because he's like, oh, I think he's finally starting to get good at making something. And so he's excited to keep doing it. And now it's like, oh, I have to leave my favorite teacher. Like, oh.
Okay. And find those things I wrote down last time. I'll find it. And Runa.
I think Runa is excited to check out the map and kind of figure out what our next steps are. I think seeing Aerlind like map laid out on the breakfast table is a little bit like, oh yeah, we're in our comfort zone again. Okay, we're not being super formal.
No. Maybe we should be, but Aerlind is not.
All right.
Yeah, so I think she's probably like poring over the map and like pointing things out and trying to make a plan.
All right. Well, let's take a moment, kind of out of character, to just kind of go over this map a bit.
Yeah.
So, okay, there. Looking at this large map, it spreads a lot farther than the normal map that we look at for the One Ring. It actually goes all the way down to Mordor, and you can see Gondor on it as well. There's Rohan. You can see way past Lorien, which generally isn't the purview of, so far, the adventures in the One Ring system. There's some things that are marked on there. You do notice, like in the Shire area, there's a big circle with Burn Beast written there. There's also a strange X there. It says Fire Dwarf ? Very like
100%. I'm just letting that ride.
yeah.
Yeah.
And some other things you kind of see that you might not have noticed before. There's Fort Arliss, which you did sort of talk with Glorfindel about before, which is marked on the map there. There's a section in there that's kind of circled. That's kind of like the troll area. That it
The
crossed.
troll shaws.
Troll shaws, that's what it is. The circle crossed off the second part. It's like troll something. The troll shaws, which between you and me, I didn't circle because it already had a name on there, or didn't label because it already had a name on there. And that's right next to Rivendell, very close to Rivendell. Below there's the Ranger Haven. And then there's a bunch of kind of rumors that are marked, circled areas. He's marked on the map where you told him that you found the Palantir. So that's now marked on the map as well. Yeah, there's just some other things. I don't want to point any out because I don't want to
He also did mention the slaughter fields, which on here is marked with Murmuring Lady ?
Yes.
That is intriguing. I also like to the north, lights and screams in the night. That
Yes.
sounds enticing.
Yeah, that's Angmar.
Yeah, that's gonna have that It's
Yeah.
a side effect of being Angmar.
Yeah. So you would know. I mean, I think all of you would probably know that's a pretty terrible, famous place. That's known to be, or previously was the place where the Witch King of Angmar
Right.
resided. So even your characters, even though you might not be experts in that, like that's enough of a horrifying, like evil of legend. You probably would be somewhat familiar with it.
Yeah.
And definitely as people who've lived in this area, like Angmar's like, oh no, we don't go there. But I mean, you can go there, but as a child growing up, like that's like
Yeah.
the boogeyman, like to the max.
I'm sure somebody in a tavern told scary stories.
100%.
You know that, yeah.
Yeah. And literally, I'm sure that like it's never spelled out in Tolkien lore, but that's like the scary thing that like you tell kids, oh, if you're not indoors before night, like the Witch King of Angmar might come get you. like it's a thing. Everyone, nobody likes it. Nobody likes it at all. It's bad.
So, but the general knowledge is that we don't know of his whole ringy connection, right?
The elves would know that he was one of the 9.
Okay.
So
And
because
was-
they were
Was he even like? Was
Yeah.
he the Witch King before all of that?
They were active in the Second Age, I believe. Weren't they? They were.
I think that they were just rumored to be shadows in the Second Age. Like, I think
Okay.
that I think he's technically supposed to be dead, in quotes.
Oh, he is dead.
No, but like in
Oh,
a
yeah.
way that we think that he is gone.
Yeah.
No longer troublesome.
Yes.
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 He was. Yeah. He was the second in command during the Second Age, which was like in the beginning of Lord of the Rings, the movie with the big battle and stuff.
Right.
So he is supposed to be gone, but he was like the king of that area before. So he still would have been something that would have crept into folk knowledge as being evil. Him being like spoilers, him being back for the Lord of the Rings is like soon to be learned in the next 50 years or so.
Right. I mean, but like he was an evil-ish dude before all that
Yes.
Well, the 9 were corrupted.
by the ring, or just on their own, and then the ring came along like, oh hey, you're doing pretty good stuff. I like your work. Here.
No,
it.
they were generally. It's. I mean, there's like a little bit of differing, but like they were given the rings, like when they were men, like kings.
All
And
9 of them.
Yeah, all 9 of them, and then that helped. They were already likely greedy. Like he probably chose them for their weakness,
Sure.
but
okay.
then they were fully corrupted by the
Right.
rings.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a little evil
Like-
and then more evil.
Yes.
Like, with the title like Witch King, I
Yeah.
was like, was that his jam before the ring came along, or was that
Yeah, I don't think we actually ever. I don't think in the lore it's ever confirmed who specifically he was before he became Sauron's right hand.
He was assumed to probably be a Numenorian.
Yeah, like powerful king of old. Yeah.
okay?
But during the Second Age, he was like a known evil general. I don't think either of you would probably know specifically, like, oh, he had a ring and blah blah blah. But you'd know.
No, yeah.
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 Also, the rings aren't really Aerlind's jam. That's
Yeah.
not something that he's concerned himself very much with either. So,
They don't come up very often.
yeah.
People don't just find them in caves.
Yeah, he knows probably significantly more about the
Runa.
elven ones, and then as we get lower and lower, the likelihood of him knowing it gets smaller and smaller.
Hey, I found that ring in a corpse.
Okay,
that's
that doesn't make it
totally
better. Corpse cave. They both be able to see. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be aware of the
But-
being.
And it's not a friendly neighborhood.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And yes, so I'll kind of let you peruse the map. I put some things that are like specifically not like kind of like mysterious names for on
Yeah,
purpose. So
I
Mhm.
I think that as we're sitting and having breakfast, and we've talked over some of the ones that we've kind of discussed here, Aerlin's kind of thumbing over the map. I'm still very concerned about what this sleeper is. It's not that far away, and I've spent a bit of time in that region. And what is a sleeper?
It's very curious. It doesn't sound dangerous, but
Exactly.
unless it's, supposed to be sleeping, we don't want it waking up.
Well,
I feel like the mystery of what the sleeper may be sounds far less perilous than something just already labeled Orc Stronghold.
that is correct.
So I would tend to think that it would also not be that difficult to get there. We could even perhaps borrow a small boat to travel down the river.
Oh.
Well, and then it's not far from a road if we want to head back towards Bree.
Right.
That's
right.
true.
We could kind of make a little circuit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, perhaps missing Weathertop wouldn't be such a bad idea. The place creeps me out.
Yeah, Glorfindel did say there's been a lot of activity there, which...
Every time I go there, I feel like something bad happens to me.
No.
Well,
Mostly just weather, but, there's
Just
ruins there, and I want to look at them, and every time it's bad.
too foggy.
Yes, or wet. Can't take rubbings on wet stone.
It's very hard to climb on wet stone,
There is that as well.
except for waterfalls.
so I think it would be perfectly. Did we know what the rumor was attached to the circle around the Trollshaws?
No.
It just says troll shaw.
Something there in Trollshaws. yeah.
Like, well, and Glorfindel, and I think the princes also talked to you about it, how, like, more just kind of
Things are
beasts had been,
cropping
like,
up.
appearing,
Yeah.
spiders and trolls and stuff of that
Gotcha.
nature.
Okay.
Large
Also,
dangerous
like, it is
things.
commonly known as the troll
Mhm.
shaws. So,
I'd
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
isn't that like a known
Yeah.
thing?
yeah, so not surprising, but
Danger there.
mhm.
Trolls.
Sure.
At least one troll.
Many Shaws. One troll.
I'm also a bit shocked by how close things are to Bree. The whites, though that area has always been a bit strange, is unnervingly close.
And right in between Bree and the Shire. That doesn't make me feel good.
No.
I would like to head that direction.
Yes.
I do not oppose a trip south to then head back to the north, but I would like to try and keep that area as safe as we can.
I agree. I think that's the least we could do for our friend Sausage and his people.
Yes. I mean, that region has had troubles off and on, but whites is something else entirely that shouldn't be there.
No. I prefer it not go any further west. So it sounds like we're agreed. Check out what this sleeper is to the south and then veer north towards our collective homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hope that we leave enough forewarning that should anything happen to us, that someone will find us.
Oh, I think we'll be just fine. Besides, Elrond's trusted friend should be joining us at some
Yes.
point on the road. We can give fairly clear directions of where we'll be.
Yes.
Especially as easy it is to follow the river.
Yes, and then get up and look for sleepers.
Hopefully it's Norse. That will be easier to find.
That's true.
All right. So you are going to make your way down to Swanfleet, which is down river.
Ooh.
It's close near.
They fix.
Yes.
I'm coming.
So there's a whole lot of things about that area. You would probably know a lot of this Aerlind just because you've. In fact, when we met you, you were exploring fairly near there.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are lots of rumors of this place of like swans of like gigantic size in this area. Also otters that talk. And
Friend.
so
I want to talk to an
Um,
otter.
yes. and like just a lot of like strange like creatures and things that act abnormally in this area. There are 2 settlements near there. There's a town called Swantown and Medcott. And Swantown's kind of like the on the west side of the marshes. The River Glenduin kind of splits, and there's lots of like channels that go through there. You can kind of see it on the map, but it kind of becomes like a marshy area. But there's a lot of places through there.
Just gonna temporarily move our arrow. No one freak out.
Good plan. There are also like some of the things are real. You've probably seen some of them, Aerlind. But there's also like men are wont to do like big exaggerations of things. So some like there are some things that you're like, okay, yeah, that could be true. But then there's like super way out there stories of people go in and they don't come out for 300 years and then they still look the same, but they're not elves. And like things like that, sort of Rip Van Winkle type tales.
These sound like Hobbit stories.
Yes. Yes, yeah, a little bit. So the marsh is kind of built with a whole bunch of like kind of like islands in it, where like it's a little bit higher ground that actually is like buildable and stable and things like that. It is also kind of a haven for people who are on the run because it's a little bit hard to get through there. So, and it's very easy to hide in there. So a lot of bandits and things like that are known to head in there. Sometimes they don't come out, or maybe they do and just nobody knows. So that's a little bit like that. I'm trying to look through the notes and see. The people who live there are pretty guarded of outsiders. They have fairly difficult lives. They are they are known for their wise women who have a deep knowledge of a lot of the things in that area and making medicinal things. They have a very long knowledge of history compared to most humans. But they're very guarded about who they share it with. And they're also known for being pretty mercurial with their feelings towards outsiders. So you could show up and they're really happy to see you, and then a few minutes later, you're running.
Okay.
So, yes. Yeah.
Cool. They sound fun.
Yeah. Aerlind, I don't know how much do you know of like the old lore of this area?
I think this is where his learning becomes fairly recent.
Okay.
And not super deep, other than like old elven cities and old cities of men and elves that would have been there, because this is outside of where elves live. It's outside of the records that he would have had a lot of access to, I think.
Yeah. You would know from maybe studying old maps that there used to be a road from the Whispering Halls of Celebrimbor to this place.
Okay.
But that's on very ancient maps, and it is very likely that road no longer exists. But you probably, like, when you're looking at that, like, I feel like that might be there.
Celebrimbor is his kind of people, so yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing you would have paid attention to. And yeah.
Awesome.
Just setting up the map.
Yep. The map.
Drawing us a little like waypoint so that everyone can see we're kind of going here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I figure drawing a direct line there seems silly because there is a city right next to it that we could leave the boat, do whatever, and then get on the road from there.
Yeah, it makes sense to stop off in a city and maybe like check in with people for rumors and whatnot.
Yeah.
the city is all ruinous, right?
Which one?
Tharbad.
Yeah. As far as you know.
Still, it's probably better than forging over land to get to
Sure.
the marked place on the map.
And you said that one of those villages you mentioned is on the west side of that area, so
Yeah. Yeah, Swan Town.
Swantown. As on 10.
Wrong page.
I mean, we all agree that talking otters is probably the exaggerated tale, right?
That was perfect.
I'm not talking about what you hope might be true.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I think Aerlind might even be like, that's possible.
Given how much Runa just talks to our animals like they're people anyway.
Right, but they still don't talk back. Like,
Not these ones.
I know, but I have never encountered a talking animal.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Trees can speak.
Have you spoken to a tree?
I haven't, but I know people who have.
That's awesome.
Between the
Is
trees
it-
themselves and the shepherds, they're quite conversational.
Really?
Yes.
Like all trees or just some?
There are some more awake than others.
Now I feel badly for all the times I've had to cut down a tree and do things.
Well, the earth provides. It's made for that.
Maybe just say thank you next time.
Well, indeed.
That's what we tend to do.
I'm learning new things every day. Yeah, I think he kind of nervously glances at all the trees
Awesome.
and does like a little tip of the helmet. Like,
The elves in Rivendell, the trees in Rivendell might fight back.
well, yeah, I'm obviously not going to just start chopping down
Yes.
trees. Oh, we talked about maybe making a boat again. Here, let me just take this.
Yeah, this will do.
It doesn't look like a support structure for this beautiful home at all.
I think the boat is a good idea. You know, I love a boat.
Love a good boat.
And I think you've made some friends that are the right people to ask.
They might have a boat. I can ask.
I think that would be wise.
Sounds good. I did want to go about and do some foraging also before we go. If these wise women are fond of medicinal remedies, perhaps we can curry a little favor by bringing them some supplies.
Yes.
Mm.
This valley is quite rich in natural beauty.
That is true.
And I'm sure they'd also enjoy supplies from not immediately nearby.
All right.
Okay.
You gonna go ask for the boat?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready, go.
Okay.
Can I have a boat?
Good morning.
Oh, Runa! Hey.
Hey.
I think we're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer before we do our waterfall climb this morning. I'm a little bit too dude. Sorry, I'll bring it back. a lot of it. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, of course. Actually, that's not what I came to talk to you about.
Oh.
We are actually going to be heading out soon. My companions and I. Unfortunately, we can't stay forever. There are some adventurous rumors to the south we were thinking of checking out.
Oh. They seem like interested in that. Like,
Mhm.
okay. Well, like, where were you thinking of going?
We are heading down towards Swanfleet. There are
Mm.
rumors of something called the Sleeper there.
Oh, so Illidan and Elrohir kind of like look at each other. The Sleeper. Yeah, that's been a rumor for a long time. A lot of humans and other people are talking about it. We're not really sure what that is. We went down there one time to kind of check it out, but there wasn't much there.
Well, maybe there's more now. but we would get there a lot faster if we had a boat. Do
Oh,
you guys have a boat we could borrow?
yeah, absolutely. We have a boat. Yeah, there might be something there. We ran into a bunch of really angry old ladies and thought it was probably best that we left. They seemed very upset, and we didn't want to fight a bunch of, no offense, old human ladies that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not all old human ladies are staunch fighters, but I wouldn't recommend it. They sound quite fierce, actually, from what I've heard.
Yes. They had these weird feathers they wore, and they seemed to know we were coming. It was very strange.
Interesting.
But hopefully you will have better luck, friend.
Maybe we'll have good luck.
Yes.
Thank you.
If anyone can find it, I'm sure you and your well-read companion and the dwarf can do that.
It's true. We have pretty good luck adventuring so far.
Yes, it seems so. It's quite amazing what you have all accomplished.
Thank you. That's a high compliment coming from you.
They kind of do the like shoulder punch thing. Complimented her. Yeah. But yeah, we will absolutely ask Dad to give you a boat.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Also, I wanted to leave you guys with some of my grandmother's favorite wine. It's really awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
And if you're ever in Bree, come stop by my house. We have a fully stocked bar, and my mom and my grandmother, both adventurers, they would love to tell you stories.
They seem a little less enticed by that than other people you've talked to. They're like, oh, talking to your family. Thank you so much for the invitation.
They also like to climb things
Oh, okay.
and fight.
They kind of, oh, okay. Now they seem a little more interested. If we had that direction, we will absolutely do that. I do think that my dad wanted to talk with you all before you leave.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll make sure that the boat's waiting for you. Did you want to take the horses on the boat?
That's a great question. Probably, yeah, probably.
All right, we'll make sure that we have that for you.
Okay, awesome.
And then like one of them like punches the other and like runs, and the other one like chases after him.
They're like 2,000 something years old, but this is completely accurate, which is the most insane part of it.
Very young still. All right, there you go.
Awesome. Boat acquired.
Very good. And you were just informed that the princes said that they think that their father wanted to speak with you one more time before you left.
I got that. I would help if you want to go looking for stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I would also help.
You guys want to forage before we go and
Let's
talk to
go
Lord
forage.
Elrond?
Or do we want to talk to him first?
Forage first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like so I'm gonna have you roll like you were gonna be somewhat successful no matter what. Like this is a plentiful, like safe area with lots of things growing. I'm gonna have you roll scan, or if you have another that you'd like to
Explore?
if you're looking for, yeah, I'll let you roll explore for this.
Okay, I have a pitch.
Okay.
I have a very specific pitch
Okay.
because this is the place that this would work.
Okay.
Knowing what I know of Rivendell
Mhm.
and the stories of the gardens of Rivendell, can I use lore to guide us in a good place to go forward?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Also, like, as far as the actual gardens, they would probably give you things from the gardens.
Yes.
Like foraging, I'm assuming you're going outside of
Okay.
like the actual of Rivendell, but you can still absolutely use that.
That's Aerlind's version of foraging.
Yeah. No, 100%. So yeah.
Everyone's like, we're going to go forage. And Aaron's like, yes, and goes straight to the garden.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now in my head I have a picture of like the chief gardener as being like the old man chief groundskeeper from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just kind of angry about everything, but had his special few that he was always friends with.
Yeah.
Okay, I succeeded with 2 Tangwars.
Excellent.
Just a plain success for me.
Okay.
I just exceeded a lot. There's no special success. But I did
Just a
succeed
lot.
by rolling 24.
Oh wow. That's a very good success.
Aerlind is like a fleet of locusts picking everything.
From specifically the garden.
Yes.
Right. You were able, because you're going with Runa, to like lead her through like this passageway and find like a great area that she just like finds a ton of different herbs and things. We're not going to name them all.
Yeah.
There's many good herbs that like Wise Woman will be very excited about, that are only known in like the parts of Rivendell and elf areas. So that's very exciting. You actually in the garden, you do run into someone like who's well versed in medicine and things like that. I'm not going to name them, but kind of a specialist who helps like, oh yeah, here's these, and this is the time of you want to like harvest these, take these, make sure you press these and dry them, and like they give you all this explanation about specific things that are being grown for medicinal, and some of it's for cooking too.
So many
Yeah.
notes are taken. And
Yeah.
like quick little sketches of the cutting so that he remembers which one is which. And yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So you get a good selection of like medicinal and like flavorful herbs that you can use in cooking and also with
Awesome.
trade. And you also get just like great kind of like experience of like kind of the small amount of like wild area around Rivendell.
Yeah, I mean, what prettier place could you forage in?
Seriously,
Really?
it's just beautiful. Yeah. Very exciting.
Aerlind, you found a ton.
Well,
Is that all from the garden?
yes, the garden's actually quite vast, and he kind of points to this huge ravine that's just like fully grown in.
That's all garden.
Yes,
Wow.
it's been there for a very long time, but I did have help. I'm not the best at this.
Knowing where to get help is also a skill, so
Oh, and look at I was given this and literally starts like going through all of their notes and just like very excitedly telling Runa suddenly he knows things about plants.
oh, this is super good because I have most of this. Actually, I didn't know that one. I have most of this in my head, but I forgot to write it down, so I'm glad you did.
Well, now it's recorded somewhere.
Excellent. We found all this.
Wow. Looks like you're building a basket.
I mean, a gift basket can't hurt or
That's true.
cause.
For women, you said with feathers?
Feathers, yeah. Who apparently have the gift of foresight, maybe? They seem to know that the twins were coming when they visited. They did not get a very good reception.
They do tend to be a little loud for elves.
Oh, that's true.
Foresight. It's a rare gift.
Potentially.
All right. Shall we go visit Lord Elrond before we set ourselves up to depart?
I think so. I don't think I have anything else pressing to do before we leave.
Yeah, I'd probably pull out some of my slightly better drawings and have them ready to give over as a thanks for the hospitality gift.
Mhm. Awesome. All right, so you enter the main house again, and Elrond's there, and he's like his big chair is still up on the thing, but he's not there. He's kind of standing down with some of his friends or his court, talking about things and kind of getting news, and then like he says something to one of them, and they kind of like go off like they're doing things. He's doing important things, Elrondy things. And he notices when the three of you walk in. Oh, my friends, I heard that you were planning to take your leave, and I wanted to make sure that I said my proper farewells, and to again impart to you how you are always welcome here. And in fact, I think my sons might, in fact, disown me if I weren't to offer you specifically, Runa, a open invitation to any time.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much, Lord Elrond. They have been most gracious in keeping me company while we were here.
Do believe that may be the first time anyone has used the word gracious with my son, and I appreciate it. Thank you, young Runa. I did have gifts for you before you left. So I would give these to you. And he kind of like beckons with his hand, and youngish elf, still older than you, sorry.
Yeah.
Comes up and he has some things in like on a little like platter in front of him, kind of covered. So Lord Elrond picks one thing up and hands it to you, Hannar. It would be a shame for such great talent to go to waste, my friend. And I hope that you will continue to take down the great images that are in your head for yourself and for future generations. And it's, he hands you, it's basically like a rolled up drawing kit. So it's like a leather bound, so you can unroll it, and there's like parchment paper, and then different like thicknesses of like drawing like
Charcoal.
like charcoal,
Yeah.
yeah. In like a little container at the end, and then you can roll it back up. So it's just like a little tube that's easy to travel around.
That's awesome. Thank you most kindly. Before I leave, the improvement that I have made in my efforts, thanks to you and your hospitality, I wanted to leave these here with you for your great library. If I would be so honored to have them be part of your collection.
I would be honored, Master Dwarf. It's quite a unique thing to have such beautiful memories drawn down by a dwarf. Thank you. And he like takes it and then he puts it back on the tray, like where he just handed you the things. And next, young Runa, this is for you. He hands you and covers like a small, like beautifully carved, like silver knife.
Ooh.
And it's like a utility knife. It's not like magical or anything like that, but it's like it's very finely made. It's something like it's sort of expected you to like, you can pull it out every night at a meal, and so it's that sort of knife.
Awesome.
Something like this will always come in handy, and we hope that with its many uses, it will remind you of your being welcome here and your time here with us.
Thank you. This is incredibly beautiful, and I will most definitely get amazing use out of it and always remember my time here. How could I forget? This has been an amazing time.
He kind of like gives you like kind of like a dad-like smile. And young Aerlind, for all the time that you spent in our great library, I have two gifts for you. One is not from me. So he hands you a book that is, it looks like handwritten, probably in the same handwriting that a lot of the books were written in. And it's not an extensive, but it's sort of like a Cliff Notes history of Middle Earth and the world. And you probably, if you ask, he will confirm, but you suspect it's probably in his own hand. So this is one of the many things that he's written. So this is from me, and I would like to point out that there are many empty pages at the end, so that the history can continue and be added to.
Thank you very much.
And this, he looks a little annoyed, but like trying to hide it. And he reaches down into his robes and pulls out kind of a small, it's a pin. It's not like super fine quality. It's silver. It's very worn. And he hands it to you, and there's a small like emerald in the middle of it. It's an okay quality jewel. And he hands. This was sent to you by young Estelle. He wants you to remember him in case you need another person in your adventuring party. like to
Yes.
make it very clear that is not to happen.
Of course, my lord. That is understood.
He takes a moment and really looks at Runa and also at Hannar, but really back again to Runa.
Understood.
The young man has much to do, and he has much to learn before he is of age, and his instruction is not to be interrupted. It is probably best that none outside these walls know he's here,
And none shall.
but he wanted to be remembered by you.
And I shall remember him. And Aerlind puts the pin actually on one of the places where his cloak is secured. Because it's secured in like 5 places.
And with that, I will take my leave, and I send you with my greatest wish of your good fortune. If there's anything else. Oh, I did hear you needed a boat. My sons are taking care of it. But I hope that we do see you again here at Rivendell. It has been quite an experience. And he gives you a medium deep bow.
Aerlind bows super deep then.
I will also ensure to continue to write back with things that we may find as we travel.
And we will also send word to Lord Glorfindel.
Yes, he will, I'm no doubt, be following your adventures with great interest. You've made quite the impression on many of us here.
Your hospitality is somehow greater than it is been rumored and written of.
Well, we'll have to make sure that the rumors are more accurate then.
I can think of no more beautiful place than I've been either, for its landscape or its people.
Well, that's only true because you haven't been to my mother-in-law's home. But soon. I have no doubt that in your strange travels you will make your way there eventually. And just be careful. Glorfindel shared his thoughts with you, and I know you have seen the patterns of darkness as well. But I have faith that you have such lights in your souls that you will be able to stand against it. And he kind of nods and smiles, and then he kind of turns and goes back to what he's doing.
This is now the most important book.
All right.
I think, on the way out, Hannar, casually walks close to some of the other elves on the way out of the room,
Mhm.
and he's like, this place should be called the First Homely House. Not the last. Quite nice.
Trying to start a more accurate rumor.
Yeah.
That's very cute. I love it. Very good. So yeah, on your way out, while you're collecting your ponies, you see probably the most beautiful horse you've ever seen. Stunning. Huge white, super majestic, and looks at you kind of like Ranier looks at you, smarter than an animal's supposed to be.
Would you say it's kingly looking?
Yeah, totally. Kingly looking horse. And kind of looks a little confused about this strange motley crew of people who've walked into their stables. And then kind of glances over at your ponies and then is like, yeah. Does a horsey shrug. Makes sense, I guess. And then turns back around.
I feel like when Runa notices that it looks like it has that look of
Mhm.
Ranyar, she waves at it. Hey.
It kind of does the you ever watched Mr. Ed the horse kind of shaking its head at you, kind of hey. Yeah. And then when it looks at you, Hannar, it kind of studies you for a moment and then kind of bows its head just a little bit.
Is there anybody near the horse, or is the horse sort of just on its own?
No, it's chilling in its stall. It's
Okay, yeah. Then I'll walk over there and pull out one of my rock candies and
Oh.
give it to the horse.
Whoa. Yeah. It walks over and very daintily, gently picks up the rock candy and then happily munches and does its little horses do like a little tail thing when they're happy too. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, and it does that and kind of whinnies at you.
You can hear the crunch.
Yeah, there's a big much crunching, very happy crunching. So, and that's Asphilith, who is Glorfindel's very famous horse. And in the movies, that's the horse that Arwen rides to get away from the ring wraiths. It's technically supposed to be Glorfindel in that scene, but they needed Arwen to do more for the movies, so they put her there instead.
They didn't give her things that she actually. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a whole
End of rant. Stopping myself there.
Anyway, I had to add the pretty horsies. Yeah. You load the ponies unless there's something else you wanted to do. And yeah, you have it's a riverboat. It's a fairly large riverboat. It's definitely not anything like the boats you saw for the ocean faring.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And it doesn't really have a cabin in it. It's kind of flat. It's got sides to it a little bit, but it doesn't have a very deep hull. And there's a beautifully woven like tent on the deck, which is where for you to sleep in. And the horses are tied up in this railing kind of near the front. So it's kind of gentle looking. If you think of kind of in like historical movies where it's like the queen riding on the Thames and like it's sort of like there's a large kind of canopy tent with basic shelter. It's not made to like withstand a hurricane or a blizzard, but it is very high quality elven weave cloth, so it will be like more than enough for most of what you probably will encounter. We'll see.
Aerlind goes straight to the stern and is like, this is where I belong, because this is where the tiller is, and I'm going to guide us down this river.
Perfect.
That's the nice part, that we don't have to row or pole our way down the river, really. Just...
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about getting the boat back somehow. That's tomorrow's problem.
Horses.
Certainly, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Away we go then.
Yeah.
All right.
Start going down the river. We don't have to actually. We're not going to do a journeying phase for the river. I mean, unless you all really want to. No.
I'm okay. Not. We're gonna have plenty of journey ahead of us.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of journeying. So we're gonna have. It will be a little bit of a journey, but because it's on a river, it'll be a much shorter journey than it normally would be. And so we're not going to do the rolls and stuff like that. But I would like to have, why don't we do one roll just to see like overall what kind of trip it is?
Okay.
So I'm actually going to modify it a little bit because you're not going to be hunting. You're not going to be really, like you can be scouting and keeping an eye out, but you can't really change course based on what you see.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to have you all roll the guide roll. And that'll just be like 3 different days of your journey down the river.
Okay.
So, no, it's been a hot minute since we've done
this. That's fine.
He's fine.
Is it fine?
Oh no.
So you're all rolling travel. And we'll just,
We don't get any bonuses for being on a river, do we?
Well, we're not going to count the hexes, so we're not going to worry about that.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Cool. I got a Tangor, but I failed.
Oh, okay.
I failed.
Okay.
Period.
The end.
I just had a normal success.
Okay.
Oh wait, I rolled favored.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
No, I rolled another 1.
Okay.
Twice on my feet die. I rolled a 1.
The dice said no.
It is fated.
7 and 7 for some reason. Sure.
All right. Then please roll a feat die for me, each person.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
So that's the D12.
Me too, or?
Yeah. Yours will just be a success. So whatever happens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gandalf rune.
All right.
I got a 10.
The 10. Okay. Oh no. So the 2 who failed
Rolled well.
rolled amazing events,
And
the
I
one who
got an eye.
And you got an eye. Okay.
This is very mixed.
So, yes. So you failed. So you don't actually get the good thing, I think. So what's going to happen is we're going to have these moments. And we'll just go from this side of the table to that side of the table. So you rolled a 10.
Yes.
So as you're going down the river, and this is like one of the first couple days because it's about a week's journey on the river, and the kind of the audience, like we kind of see, like you're all there on the boat and you're doing different things. Maybe you're playing music or whatever you're doing, and we kind of see as like we look past you, like on the riverbank. We see Leorin and Ranyar. And they are kind of looking like, and you for just a moment, suddenly like Ranyar barks, but it's one of those things that like another sound like happens at the same moment, so you on the boat don't hear it.
Oh no.
So and you can kind of see like Leorin be like, what? And he looks really annoyed. And then he and Ranyar kind of look at each other. And then they start walking.
Amazing.
Because on your thing, you had a chance meeting is what you rolled.
Okay.
But you failed, so you didn't get it.
But we missed
Yeah.
it.
So the next thing is a joyful sight, which unfortunately you double failed.
Yep.
So you do not get a joyful sight. So what is the incredible thing that would have been a joyful sight to Aerlind, but you, for some reason, like miss it? We can come back if you need it.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Okay. Let's go ahead then to Hannar.
My success evil.
Yeah, your success. But, well, luckily, like, the eye means terrible misfortune.
Right.
So we'll have this be, like, down. You're almost near the area where you're heading. And what terrible thing happens that you narrowly avert from happening? Because you're so lucky with boats, you know.
Right.
Oh, man.
I don't think Hannar's getting on boats again. No. Like he kind of got excited with the whole day sail out, and that went very well. And he's
And
like,
Mithlond, yeah.
"Oh, okay, this could be all right." And so now we tried it again. Also an elven boat, and it's still just been a terrible time. I think maybe we come to a part where the river shallows, and one part becomes a little bit like a rapid. So there's some rocks and things in the way, and we just skirt the edge of it. Like it gets a little hairy. The boat kind of starts to dip, and we take on a little bit of water, and the horses get annoyed because they get wet. But we're okay. Like we get to the other side of it. Like, oh, okay. Unexpected. This river's been fairly calm, but yeah.
Good job. All right.
I think as we cross from the forested area near the Ranger Haven, as is marked on Glorfindel's map, it's near the Horwell forest area. We like break out of the forest, and there's a small like farm or something, very pastoral, beautiful, and people just doing simple, people everyday life things. But it's something that Aerlind would just love to see because it's an area that he's never been and people he's never talked to, and they're farming, and it's like an interesting kind of cultivation that he's never seen before, and he's so focused still on trying to deal with two rivers meeting and the flow of that he's looking at the river and he's not looking at the shore at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So after this kind of mixed journey, you arrive down near Tharband, which is a ruin. But right before there is kind of the turn off where it splits into the Swan Fleet area, which is the marshes there. Yeah. So what would you like to do? Would you like to sail to Tharband? You might have. I'm sure you've probably been there, Aerlind. At least, or near there,
Yeah.
at least to see
Tharband,
it.
yes.
Yeah, because those are just they're very well-known ruins that have been kind of abandoned since there was a great plague, and then after that, the remaining people there were kind of wiped out by floods. But it's been quite some time since that, so they are ruins.
And we did cross through there
Yeah, we did.
a while ago at this point. But
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When we were first coming back from picking up Aerlind
Correct.
at the very beginning, like session
Mhm.
1 or 1
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah.
Session 1.
Amazing.
And I think it's a place that we've been, I think, collectively. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's close enough that it's definitely a place that
It's
we
on a
probably-
road from Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a big mysterious place. It's a well-known landmark.
It's probably sort of the end of the sort of trading path that I frequented. Like I come
makes
down
sense.
here,
Yeah.
maybe catch some of the farmer folk along the way through this valley,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing, and then I kind of get there, camp the night, and turn around and start heading back the other way.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, it's a pretty good place to tie up a boat.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Especially going into marshland, I want to leave the horses there as well.
Okay.
Horses and marshes.
Yeah, not the best.
Whole Swamp of Sorrows situation we could skip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, it's okay.
Our horses have plot armor?
They
Yeah,
do.
100%. Actually, I don't know if I've said it in this campaign, but I have I have no memory of that part of the movie.
Oh.
Like I know I saw that
Oh,
movie.
just skip it every time.
Yeah, I
Just
don't know
don't.
if like when I was a kid, my mom knew enough to skip that part, and I just actually never saw it, or if I watched the movie and I just blocked it out because I, like, until I started seeing the GIF as an adult, I was like, "What is this?" And
Oh no.
Sam was like, "You have to have seen that movie." I'm like, "Yeah, I totally. That's not in it." He's like, "Oh, honey."
Oh no.
Oh.
I saw somebody that 3D printed the
Oh.
horse and what's his name? I don't remember the character now.
Yeah.
Atreyu.
And then and then glued a little piece of yarn like he's pulling, and they put him in two potted plants.
Oh no.
And I was like, that's delightful.
There was someone who used to cosplay as that, and like he had like the horse's head that like would be on the carpet of whatever convention
hall
we
or
were
whatever.
at. And he was like pulling it out. That was very funny because sometimes it was like a ridiculous carpet.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
All right, sorry.
Wild
Anyway.
casino carpet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, knocking myself for tone. I apologize. All right. So you make it there. There are pathways through. You can also try and take the boat if you wanted, but especially you, Aerlind, like as a mariner, you would know like that's not going to get us super far.
Yeah. Also, like, the oars are probably pretty good size for a boat this big. And
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to endanger a loner boat,
Correct.
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Like, it's not our boat to take risks with.
Mhm. That's very nice and responsible.
So we drag it ashore in Tharband, and
Yeah.
Leave the horses to guard it.
they'll do a good job.
So you get you start walking in, and like an hour or so, you get to what you see is Swantown. So it's kind of on the west side of the marshes. It's kind of the first place you get to, and it's kind of hidden on a marshy island. The village is kind of a mix of buildings on stilts, kind of like similar to like what we see in like marshy areas, like what we see also like in the South or in Florida stuff, sometimes right near the ocean. And then also up on higher land, there's also some that are kind of made of earth. If they happen to be lucky enough to actually be on like solid ground there. And it doesn't seem like there's a huge population there. And they are kind of side-eyeing you. The people here are hunter-gatherers, so you see a lot of things hanging up. There's lots of birds and fish that they've caught in the marshes. There are roots and some berries and things like that out to dry. They do not have like livestock or crops of their own. And so it's a little bit of a meager existence, but they seem for the most part healthy, and like it's not like definitely not fancy, but it's not like impoverished, like starving to death.
These are mostly humans.
Yes, very much. And they seem a bit wary. You can tell they do have things from the outside. They have knives and things like that they definitely probably aren't doing any mining around here. So they do have some sort of access to trade of some type and things like that. You can tell as well.
It must be really hard to make a smithy here.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is just a little wet.
So
Yeah.
damp.
So
Everything is so damp.
yeah. And it just seems like they have like wooden shoes that they wear to help kind of keep themselves, and they're a little bit tall to kind of keep themselves out of the mud. Everything is kind of designed around around mud and walking around. They have like similar to like Dutch shoes. They actually have shoes that they wear that are made of leather that then slip inside kind of these large clogs that they wear when they're actually walking about.
When we get to the marshland, because Aerlind wears this long, beautiful
Yes.
robe that you would wear when you lived by the sea.
Yes.
And he looks at the marshland,
Mhm.
and you just see him start to like gather it up and like tie it up as much as possible.
Mhm.
And so he looks very like bunched at the waist as we get to the marshland. It's just like just underneath his leather cuirass that he wears. It's
Mhm.
very funny looking.
Amazing.
So let's see.
It's almost like one of those loose fabric rope belts.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It seems like it's a hard life, but everyone here seems mostly healthy. There are a few places that do have, there are like some chickens in certain places, but that seems to be kind of the only thing that is really being raised for any type of food. There are some dogs. There are some that you can tell are like guard dogs that are in specific places for specific reasons. But that's kind of all the animals you see. There aren't really any horses or anything of that type here. And yeah. And as you're walking through, you're getting major side eye.
Aerlind says hello when people look at them.
Very like they don't really respond. Some of them like look a little confused. They'll like look at each other. Like once in a while, you'll see a kid who kind of like looks at you and is like, "Hi," and then like they're grabbed and like pulled along. Like even the kids don't seem like super excited to see you. They're like a little confused and a little afraid. It's kind of like that automatic like, "Hello, hi," like just like training, and then like they don't even really want to say it, and then they're pulled off along.
Hannar, have you ever done any trading here?
I have not. I tend not to cross the river.
Hmm. Do you want to make some friends?
Always. I think I'm gonna kind of look around for the ladies with the feathers
Mhm.
to see if I want to find who's in charge and make friends.
Okay. You don't see anyone who strikes you as like the wise woman that the princess described to you.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it was my mistake, but yeah, actually, I don't think they described it at all. So yeah, never mind.
Okay.
I'm fast forwarding in my head. So, after you've been there a few minutes, you hear kind of off, like around. It's not a very big village, but like kind of around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where are they then? Well, take me there. And coming down the road, a moment later, you see a very large man. He's older. He's like a little bit outside middle-aged. So the equivalent of like a very healthy, like 60-year-old. So definitely not peak physical condition for his life, but someone who has been very physical for most of his life and like could still take care of business if he needed to, depending on who the other person was.
Like real life Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. And he's got like a large hat on his head that has lots of feathers sticking out of it. In a way that is meant to look impressive and somehow looks not so impressive. someone trying to dress above their station, as it were. So
Feathers are fancy.
yeah, exactly. So as many feathers they can, like nice fabrics that are a little worn, that are kind of in a weird combination. So things that they've picked up here or there or purchased from different people, that are just meant to look fancy.
Yeah.
He is wearing like leather scale armor underneath that is actually like good quality. It's older, it's worn a bit, but has definitely been functional in the past. There's some like scrapes and stuff on it where you can tell that was probably a spear at one point making that, and it's been repaired and things like that. And it fits him very well. And that is the one thing that really like strikes you as, nope, that is absolutely his. And he also has a large sword on his hip, which he moves like that has always been there as well. And then he also has these large coats that are kind of layered.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which, thinking about how moist it is probably a little uncomfortable, but he doesn't seem bothered by it. Yeah, he's...
I feel like his attempts to be fancy are also undermined by the fact that we literally just came down the river from Rivendell. Like,
Yeah. I think hearing someone who has the voice of authority, Aerlind turns to go and like do his like charming elf thing, and then sees the man and then looks at Runa with just giant eyes, just like, help me.
I got this. It's okay.
Yes.
Is there any chance of identifying what kind of feathers are on this hat?
Great question.
There are a few that are like white. There are some that you, especially as someone who's done a lot of trading, could tell were from like far reaches, like more tropical places. Some of them are like big colors. Some of them look very old. Like he traded for them many years ago, or maybe he found some of them. One of them looks suspiciously like a quill that he just thought was very fancy.
Like a dyed quill.
Yeah. I mean, and some of them you also suspect may have been painted, and he may not have realized that, and he either purchased or traded for them because he thought they were beautiful, or who knows. Just a crazy cacophony of random stuff.
But that's what they aren't all like from a similar creature.
No.
Like a giant swan.
No, there are a few that look like large white feathers that might be from a swan.
Okay.
But it's a little hard to tell because it's just like...
But they definitely look bigger than chicken feathers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are chicken feathers too.
Sure.
But they're
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. But yeah, there are definitely somewhere, if you're like specifically looking for swan feathers, there are some that look like very large swan feathers.
All right.
Whether they are real or not, who knows?
I'm not a feather expert by any
No,
stretch. It's
yeah.
just,
But it makes sense as someone who's done a lot of trading that you'd be able to kind of recognize like finer things, and feathers are something that people would trade for along with fabrics and such things. All right. I am Master Blackbriar. I am the master of Swantown, and I would like to know what you are doing in my town.
Good day, Master Blackbriar. We could see by your appearance that you are indeed in charge here, and I am so excited to speak with you. I'm definitely using my ring on this conversation.
Yep.
My comrades and I are adventurers. We have been traveling the lands, helping people, taking care of dangerous problems, investigating rumors, and generally trying to make a difference. We find ourselves in your beautiful town, and we've heard many interesting rumors.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll its courtesy. Yeah, please roll courtesy for me.
Okay.
He is, he wants to be very important, and he is prone to flattery, but he's also lived many things.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
I succeeded, but the dice tried hard for me not to.
Oh.
Rude.
So you got just a
regular
flat
success.
Okay.
Yeah.
He like scans you, like he takes a beat, like he doesn't even mind, like, and he just kind of like looks at you for a minute, and you get the vibe like, in another life, maybe we would have thought about things, like, He definitely has the look of someone like, and you can tell he's reading your fighting ability and also just like how full of bullshit you are.
Uh-huh.
And this is someone who has had a rough life
Yeah.
and like knows bullshit when they see it, but also really likes being important now and wants to continue being important. And his two sides are kind of at war. He knows you're full of bullshit, but everyone in town is looking at you, treating him like the actual master of Swantown, and he likes that.
Mhm.
Yes, who might you be?
My name is Runa of Bree. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Bree is a fine town. We sometimes have people here from Bree. And why are you with them?
These are my stout comrades who have been through many a battle with me.
Yes, you said that you meddle in things. That you mentioned that a moment ago.
We do. This is Aerlind of Mithlond and Hannar of, I forget what Durin's folk.
Yeah, Durin's
Yeah.
book is good.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
That's
fine.
fine.
That's legit. That's the title.
I think I don't think he's ever said his father's name to you.
She's probably never
Yeah,
asked.
Hannar.
Yeah.
Just Hannar.
Yeah.
Because the only time it came up was when I was away from them.
Yeah,
That's
you
right,
were
that's
you
right.
were with dwarves when
Yeah.
you said that.
That's right.
When she says my name, I will give him like a solid like metal armor chest thump kind
okay.
of.
Nice.
He likes that.
Aerlind just does a delicate elven bow. Not a macho bone in his body.
No. Yeah. So why don't you roll? Like, why don't you all roll insight for me?
Ooh.
There's not like if you don't get it, there's not a penalty. But I just want to figure out how much you can figure out about this person.
Okay. Insight.
No. That's 3 total.
Success. Just regular success.
My target number
Nothing?
is above a 3.
Nothing terrible,
Okay.
but just not success.
Okay. Yeah, you figure he's got like 12 feathers in his hat. That's a lot. Okay.
I think I'm marveling at Runa's diplomacy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think I probably get a little judgy about like he's their big fighting man and he's got like a sword.
Yeah.
Runa's got 2, and she definitely like turns a little bit so she can
Yeah.
see that she has 2 swords.
She does the like fists under the thigh.
Between us, we have brought more metal to this town than they have.
Probably.
Like-
Yeah. I'm actually gonna have. I want Hannar. I want you to roll lore.
Oh.
For specifically, and since you've been here before, you can take 1 extra success die because you've been to this area before.
Oh.
All right. A success with the Tangwar.
All right.
Nice.
So
Sorry, I lean forward to roll.
it's okay. You know, like when he says his name, like Blackbriar, they kind of like there's a little memory there of a group of bandits that used to kind of rule this area. And Blackbriar was the well-known kind of like second in command of this big like bandit troop.
Hmm.
That was a long time ago, especially for humans. But like it's not a huge leap to assume that this might be the same person in a new phase of their life.
Interesting.
Did the other townsfolk seem to be looking at him with a little bit of fear? Or is it more like they're looking just curiously at us?
They're focused more on his interaction with you. Like they're
Okay.
interested to see what you do with him. They don't seem to be like he's not like beating them into submission.
Gotcha.
There's some of them that don't seem to like him very much, but it's not. It's more like a.
It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like this town is being held hostage by this bandit troop and they're all...
Not by him
Terrified.
specifically, no.
Okay.
Yeah. And you also, Runa, since you got a success on your insight, like you can tell because you fought a lot of bandits and thieves and unsavory types. Like just after watching him a little bit and interacting with him a little bit, you're like, oh, I know, I recognize kind of what you are. So he is now in a a place where he's trying to go legit, I guess, is the best
Uh-huh.
way of explaining it. He might have taken power by force. It doesn't seem like the people here are in danger from him, but there's definitely an element of like this might have been his bandit retirement plan.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Not currently banditing, so all right.
yeah.
But
But it also like as you're like we go through the world and we take care of bad things and it's like maybe not the best
The
way to
best
win him
angle.
over.
Mhm. She's gonna switch tactics a little bit and amp up the flattery.
Mhm.
And comment on his plumage.
Mhm.
Is that a red wing feather in your cap? Those are quite rare.
Well, it is red. Yes. It is a red feather from a wing.
This is
I
a
think.
made-up bird.
Yeah.
Those only come from the northern part of the Thistledown Forest. I'm very impressed that you would have one.
Oh yes, he does kind of like primp up a little bit at that and like he likes it. Yes, I am a bit of a collector of different feathers.
I see. You must be quite the connoisseur. You must do tell me where you got it over drinks.
I would be glad to. Yeah, yes. Why don't you come with me to the? Well, we don't really have a tavern, but we have a large table outside the meeting house that we
Out of
sometimes
doors
drink.
is even better. We can take in this beautiful landscape.
Yes. He kind of like looks around awkwardly and claps like he was summoning someone, and like everyone kind of looks at each other like they don't know what that means.
Looks around like, are there servants?
Yeah. And all the people seem confused too. So then he's like, ale, get drinks. And like 3 people run off to do it. And then he's like, this way. And he turns around, like kind of grabbing the edge of like 3 of his like coats and like kind of tries to spin it like a cape, but they're not quite full enough. So they kind of just look awkward. And then walks off very importantly, like he expects you to follow him.
All right.
Well, a reception indeed.
Yes.
We're making friends. It's fine.
So yeah, you there's a large, like very rustic, maybe a little bit rotting, like table
Sure.
out like kind of in the middle of kind of what is sort of like a town square. Like the houses are all kind of around this area. There are some houses that are almost above it because they seem to like wherever there's solid land, they just build like really close to each other. So it's almost like it's not really indoors, but there's a roof of like different houses over it.
As we walk, and Aerlind kind of like is like, this is not a social interaction that I will have any contribution that will help us. So he turns into that anthropologist mode and starts to look around and is like looking at the buildings and starting to sketch the structure of the buildings. He's suddenly realizing I'm surrounded by houses that are on top of water, and starts to just draw and write notes about the architecture here.
And it is.
Is it-
Pretty impressive. Like,
Are the houses like the European thing where they got taxed on the amount of square footage of the first floor? So then the second floor goes out a few feet and the third floor goes out a few more feet?
there's like a
Like-
strange amalgamation of it. Like some of them like connect to each other, and
Yeah,
some of
okay,
them,
yeah.
yeah, it's like if 2 people got married and they were living like, and then they inherited their houses, they like connected them, and some of them built out as far as they could, and then like you could see pieces were chopped off, like their neighbor built out. Like it's just this strange kind of tangled maze above you that
Yeah.
looks like it seems solid enough, but like it looks like it should be teetering, even though it isn't.
Which is where the drawing comes
Yeah.
in. Frantic drawing.
Yeah.
I'm
So
getting like a very like swamp punk vibe.
yeah,
yeah.
kind of like that. And there's lanterns and torches everywhere. And there's a little bit of, even though it's kind of the middle of the day, it's still a little dark. There's just a little bit of a haze over it, just because it is a marshland. So they don't have to worry too much about fire because everything is damp. Yeah, it's just kind of looking above you. It's like looking through kind of like a maze of all these different houses, and everybody seems to know exactly which one's which, and some of them have ladders. Some of them, the fancy ones, have like kind of stairs. Generally, like the stairs have like darker areas at the bottom where you can tell it's sometimes been submerged. Some of them, there's like what might be a dock, but there's not any water there right now, but maybe different parts of the year there are. And some of them just have like ropes and things like that. And a lot of them have like buckets that are attached to ropes so that people don't have to go all the way down to get things up to them. So there's just lots of little gizmos and kind of like smart ways of doing things for such a inhospitable climate for people to live.
Cool.
So you come to this large table that is on one of the areas that you can tell the houses are a little bit lower. There are actually a few you can kind of see that are up a hill a little bit, and there's actually a few trees there. So this is like what you can kind of surmise, like this probably is not underwater very often or ever. And this seems to be kind of like the gathering area. There's a bit of a platform. It's not really a stage, but if someone like wanted to perform or give a speech or something, they'd probably stand on it. It's a little bit bigger than like a few boxes pushed together. And there's like a big, that kind of big rotting table kind of under there. Even though there are still kind of houses above you a little bit, this is one of the few places you can kind of like go and sit at the table and look up, and it kind of like, there's a break. You can kind of see the sky.
Nice.
Yeah. And he kind of brushes it off and tries to go shoot, and like skirt like some kind of sort of half like asleep drunks, like are kind of shoot off the other end of the table. And he kind of like pushes them and kind of kicks them, and they go off and grumbling and come sit. And he like claps again and again, like people look confused, and then like 6 cups of ale show up like at about the same time, and he pretends like he meant to do that. And
Perfect amount.
yeah.
Aerlind starts to count on his fingers. He's like,
Runa just takes 2. So generous.
Yeah, I think Hannar does the same. I think he reaches out and grabs 2 handles
Yeah.
in one
Yeah.
hand and just brings them back. And
Perfect.
Yeah. It is not great.
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Not great. It is like the Coors Light equivalent of like swamp beer.
Brew.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah, starting with swamp water is not the way to go
No.
for brewing beer.
No.
Uh,
I think Aerlind takes a polite sip and then puts the mug down.
yeah. So, have you come to trade? Have you come to what brings you here?
Well, we were just passing through the area generally, and couldn't help but take a little detour after we heard some of the fascinating rumors about this area.
Oh.
I'm out of character. I don't remember exactly the rumors. There were some silly ones like giant swans,
Talking
otters,
And the sleeper.
and the sleeper.
Mhm.
Yeah. So she'll kind of list them. She's like, really, our curiosity was piqued by the variety of rumors of giant swans,
God,
talking
the damn
animals.
swans.
and something called the sleeper.
Oh. The swans are real. The otters are real. Never been able to catch one of those. I always thought I could trade it for fortune of riches, but the little bastards are very smart and they get away.
Wait. The otters are real and they talk?
Yes.
I told you.
Good gravy. All right.
Most fascinating. I'm so pleased that we came through here.
I would certainly love to meet one. Where have you found them?
Wherever I don't want one, they tend to get up in your business if they think that they could make a coin off of you. They are
Oh.
very fond of little trinkets and such things. They like collecting shiny things.
How delightful.
But the swans are fairly dangerous. I would keep your distance. I don't know if you've ever met a goose, but swans are in that family, and these ones are ancient and very large.
How large? Horse?
I mean,
it's been a while. Last time I saw one, I got knocked unconscious. But, yes, quite large, not quite horse size. I mean, maybe a small horse. What specifically horse would you mean? Like a pony? Like maybe a small pony size.
Pony-sized swan. That is quite formidable.
It's significantly larger than they're meant to be.
Yes.
Indeed.
I've heard of them breaking he kind of like is about to say like bandit,
Uh-huh.
like warrior's arm, like without even thinking about it, in a
Oh.
single wave of their very large wings.
Do they trouble your people much?
Oh no, they're deep in the marsh.
Oh, I see.
They tend to avoid us like we avoid them. The wise women though, the weird witches of Medicott, they talk with them all the time, I think. I don't know.
We have heard of them. Yes.
Oh, steer clear of those.
Oh.
Such wild witch wenches. They've got
Ooh.
strange magics that can, like, control dreams and tell the future and such things, but pays a steep price for it.
What sort of price?
I don't know. I don't deal with them, but I've seen them. I got a feather off of one.
Oh.
Yes, had the strangest dreams for about a month. And then, thank goodness, it went back to being normal because I didn't want to take it off my hat. But they also like want prices and things from the outside and ask you to go get fuzzy mushrooms from somewhere else. It's very strange. They might know about the sleeper. I don't know about that at all.
Perhaps we should ask them.
It's most intriguing.
It is. I am still fascinated about the otters.
Perhaps
Well,
we'll meet one.
I hope
We
so.
will have to travel farther into the marsh here, you implied, to find these wise women.
Oh yeah, they've only ever found us when they want to. I can't give you specific directions. In fact, you may have to find an otter. They are quite helpful if you can give them a trinket, and they might actually take you to the witches.
That is good to know.
Yes, but keep an eye on them. Sometimes they'll take you the wrong way and demand another trinket to get you back, and then it's 2 weeks before you get back, and you've lost all the feathers in your hat. It can happen to anyone.
Yes.
It's wise to be cautious.
Especially of speaking otters. They're mischievous without speaking.
This is true.
Perhaps we could grace you with a tale of our journeys or
A song.
a song. Good, yeah. We could do that. Is repayment for your hospitality?
He looks not interested, but the people around him, like behind him, are like, "Oh, I saw music. Oh, we haven't had music." Very well. That sounds lovely. He does not seem like a worldly or a cultured person.
We're gonna play the heck out of a song for this
Yeah.
guy.
Everyone's like, what's the biggest banger we have in our repertoire? Let's go.
Gets out drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever our most popular one is.
Like a ruckus tavern song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one about crushing bandits in any way.
No?
Yeah, we'll say that you have a song that you learned about all the different types of beer and
perfect.
ale there
Crowd
are.
pleaser.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, it's got a rousing chorus where you like list off different types of drinks, and like it's one of those things like by the second or third verse, like everybody knows it and kind of like joins in at the chorus. And then there's a descant at the end that's like really catchy.
Excellent.
And yeah. And everyone seems very, very impressed. They cheer for you, and they and he like even he seems like, oh, okay, this is the kind of music. Like he didn't seem like he was expecting that type of music from you. So he's like even like kind of swinging his tankard and like super out of tune, like kind of saying singing the chorus with you. Yeah. So he's into tavern songs. Was not expecting that from the likes of a strange motley crew with an elf. So So we'll say that you do like a set of a few songs, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
Yeah.
people seem really excited. They start bringing out like what like kind of meager food they have. A lot of like dried berries and things like that. Like it's not bad. It's kind of bland, but they're obviously like very appreciative.
It's super, super nice of them
Yeah.
to share, considering how they live and
Yeah.
what they have to offer.
I think
yeah.
Aerlind pulls out some of the seasoning herbs specifically that he gathered in Rivendell and like leaves some with some of the people who are bringing food,
Okay.
just as a like thank you.
Yeah. There's a few there that are obviously kind of more into the cooking. They were bringing the food and they seem like blown away, like elvish spices and elvish herbs. This is amazing. And like they are so overwhelmed by that, like they may not ever use them. It might be something that they like pass on, like yeah, but they blown away by it. They
Build
love
a
it.
chest out of bogwood specifically for the leaves.
Yeah. And yeah.
I love it.
We have
Do you
very
have
time.
anything? Oh, go ahead.
I think I'd start passing out the candy to the kids as they come to the table.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like just quietly. Like I don't want the adults to notice like that I don't want it to turn into a riot. It's just very like if a kid gets brave enough to kind of come near us, I put one on the table and like slide it over.
All right. I'm gonna have you roll for that.
All right.
Uh-oh. We're poisoning the town again.
Fire dwarf
Fire
too.
dwarf round 2.
Yeah.
The
I
dwarf comes.
can't wait for it to get back to Glorfindel.
Yeah.
Like,
What is
Fire
that?
dwarf question mark number 2?
Maybe stealth? I don't know. I will take an argument for something else if you'd rather do something.
I could do stealth.
Mhm.
What about like in Hearten?
I would take that. The one thing I'm trying to measure though is like these children have never had any type of sugar, probably.
Where?
So I will take. I'll take in Hearten. Okay, if you roll well in Hearten, I'll say it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, this is secret. This is special. Like not in a creepy way, but like
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah. Like hey,
This is very much like the dwarven version of old Saint Nick with like a glint in his
yeah,
eye
yeah,
and a wink.
super
You know, like,
friendly. Like yeah, you're not asking them to like keep a secret. You're like, this is special.
just
I don't have enough for everyone.
Right.
Like that sort of thing. Okay.
Oh, you know what? This is where I'm going to spend a hope point.
Nice.
Because in Hearten is one of my slightly magical dwarven abilities.
Oh.
So that means I get.
Also, what's the point of spending all that time and energy making all this candy without giving it to kids that
I
are so cute?
Here we go. What's it look like? I think it's probably like he reaches into his pocket
Uh-huh.
and like there's just a little bit of a glow
Oh,
from the
okay.
pocket
Uh-huh.
as like I just reach in and probably the adults don't notice, but the kids would see, and then that starts a whole thing like
Mm-hmm.
what, and then out comes these little gemstone treats.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm 100% taking it.
Okay.
So I got a success with 2 Tengwar.
Okay.
Oh.
The adults are completely clueless. Like they have no idea that this like child like religion about this dwarf with candy has been birthed. So they are just like it is. You will be forever instilled in their memories. Like 60 years from now,
They're gonna tell their
Yeah.
grandchildren
about the dwarf that came with the sweet candy rocks. What do you think? Now they're not going to call you the fire dwarf
No.
because you didn't say so. Like I'm going to give you a couple minutes. I want you to think of like what these kids are going to call you. So give you some time. But there is going to start this mythology of the young kids of Swantown about this one time this dwarf showed up with sugary treats, and it was like the most amazing thing they ever had in their lives. And Yeah, and they all start. Suddenly, they're all running around and like on a sugar high because they've never had sugar before, and parents are kind of confused, and also it's just delightful.
You're skewering my anthropology.
I love it.
You had your shot.
Yeah.
As soon as we started playing music and everybody was drinking, it was over anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna kind of fade on this scene unless someone else has something specific that they want to get done during this.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Make
They will.
friends, confirm rumors.
Yeah.
Write down so many notes.
Yeah. So many notes. Yeah. There. You do hear there, like as you're kind of like visiting with the townsfolk, a couple of them like do say, "Oh, I've heard of the sleeper," and then like there's a couple different rumors. Like some say that it's like an evil witch that's locked in like these ruins that are there. Some people say that it's a spirit that someone, a beautiful lady that died long ago. That's in like. Also, they all seem to kind of describe a specific place, although none of them are really able to like say
Tell you
they've
where
seen
that
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems to be a lot of them. It's about something that's trapped or locked in, like ruins or a vault or a tower, and it seems to run kind of the gamut of princess in a tower to evil thing locked in a vault, and there's a little bit of like variety in between.
Okay.
Okay. So we're looking for a structure with a person in it.
Old structure.
Old structure with an unconscious person in it.
Or a trapped person.
Or a trapped person.
Or a trapped monster behaving like a person.
Correct.
Ooh, also fun.
Could also just be the otters having a laugh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be. Either way, we get to meet an otter.
It's true.
That is 100% happening.
I'm going to find every trinket that I have and just dangle it.
Yeah. We'll just assemble an offering for otters when we leave town.
Otter lure.
Yes. I think with the kids,
Mhm.
it's less about the fact that it's a dwarf, and
Mhm.
it's more about the fact that it's the many-colored coat.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like the magic coat.
Oh yeah, because
That-
it's like they're pulling.
And and a couple of the kids are like, yeah, in the pocket it glowed when. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So yeah, there's now this kind of legend, the myth of like this traveler with a many-colored coat that has like great bounty in it.
Because I don't think like any of the people in this town were alive when dwarves would have come through here regularly.
No, probably not.
Because I mean, we're like the
Yeah.
road between Tharbad and Moria
No,
is
no,
right
no, no.
here.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah,
Long ago. Yeah, definitely not these people either. So because they tend not to shy away from the road anyway. So even their ancestors.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like if there were like big tradey caravans of dwarves going by, like they
Yeah.
would have seen them and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, none of these
No.
people. Most of the people you hear, you kind of get the feeling after talking to them, most of them have never left the marshes. Some of them are quite old for humans and they've never left the marshes. It seems like there's a select few who kind of venture out to do trading or things like that. They do sometimes go out and try and find the wise women
Mhm.
if like there's a need, if someone's very sick.
Hmm.
And they're very brave. Sometimes they just don't do that. Depends on how brave they are and how desperately they want the sick person to get better. They do have some healers here, but it seems to be like kind of the last resort. Like this person's probably going to pass away. Like, are we going to be brave enough to go find the wise women
Okay.
of the
Sure.
of the swamp?
Yeah.
So.
What time of day is it?
We'll say that it's probably like evening now.
Okay.
It's kind of become like probably the first kind of holiday hangout like party these people have been in to
Yeah.
a while. So it's sort of like devolved into that a little bit. So they do offer you a place to stay for the evening if you want to stay
Wonderful.
here.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you get to stay in one of the like tall houses. And
Neat.
Yes.
Yeah. And then kind of like the next morning if you wanted to set out.
Yeah.
They also give you a bunch of, again, strange cacophony of tips about finding the otters.
Mhm.
Many of them have like, oh, I saw an otter one time. I'm sure it was a talking one too. And
Oh.
like, yeah. And like some of the kids are like, my gran told me that if you take an orange slice, or I guess they don't have orange slices, but like it's just a strange amalgamation of things. Like if you ring a bell,
Mm.
or if you sing a song, or things like there's just like such a strange cacophony, and none of it really. I mean, you've never met a talking otter. Maybe they love
Maybe.
that. So who knows? But
I mean, most of those things are worth a try,
Sure.
right? It's not going to hurt.
yeah,
Turn
Like-
around 3 times, throw an onion up in the air.
Yeah,
and an
exactly.
otter appears.
stuff like that.
Visual assault.
Yeah,
Blow on it. That works, right?
exactly. So,
And then there's just like a group of otters behind a tree a few meters away, like,
Yeah.
They're doing it again.
they're so weird.
They start their own rumors.
yeah.
Yeah, like an otter just comes up behind a group of kids
You know
in the
what I
forest.
heard?
It's like, yeah, exactly. You know, an otter really always loves it and appears when you wear a chicken hat.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I love that.
Why don't you kind of like plan and take your leave for the next morning? I'm gonna run
Okay.
Yeah,
for just
absolutely.
a second, and we'll say you're able to leave town, no problem. They'll give you a few trinkets and things like of their thanks and goodwill, and Blackbriar will very ceremoniously like pull the red feather out of his hat, give a very clumsy deep bow where he almost like trips on like himself and hands you this red feather that he thinks is from this very rare red wing.
Before you flee, I think when that is given to Runa, Aerlind reaches into his like very neat scholarly roll of quills
Mm-hmm.
and pulls out one that was made by one of the thousands of sea feathers that
Yeah.
are around in
Oh,
Mithlond,
yeah.
and
yeah?
and offers it to him with a very deep and noble bow.
He takes it and then like stands like he thinks a king might stand. Thank you, Erlind Elf. I will treasure this great gift from the Elven Kingdom for many years. And he kind of like holds it up almost like a sword. And then like you kind of see like the group behind him, like there's some that are like, wow, this is amazing. And some of like the older people are just like, what? Like they're just like, oh gosh.
We're never going to stop hearing
Yeah. And he like ceremoniously like puts it in his hat. And there's just like a little bit of ink that kind of seeps through just a little
Amazing.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a seagull feather.
Yeah.
It's basically a seagull feather.
He thinks it's incredible.
Yes.
Blessings on your great journey to find the otter people. Stay away from the swans.
Good day, Master Blackbriar. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Lovely.
Lovely Runa. If you ever decide to give up adventuring and be the Lady of Swantown, it would be
Oh,
my honor.
I will most certainly consider your offer.
He seems like surprised at that and looks very excited. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Very good. Very good. Very good.
I,
We should go.
I think Hannar is like suddenly stroking his beard to hide the fact that he's laughing his
Yeah.
ass off. Like it's like,
Aerlind's like re-rolling his roll of quill supplies and is like fully burying his face behind as many layers of fabric as he can.
but we'll set off.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yes.
Right then. She said consider, which means laugh about this later.
Yeah.
We've been laughing about this for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So you set off. And he like, farewell until we meet again, fair Runa. And yeah, there's some people in the crowd who they're like, oh, she might come back and be a lady. And some people are just like, and then like all the little kids are just like lined up along like the bank of the little island as you guys like cross over. And they're just like, goodbye, goodbye, your coat. Like, just like just passionate, large, like every kid in town, just like fondly, happily waving at you, Hannar.
Incredible.
Yeah. I think, like, as we get 50 yards down the road, Hannar, like, reaches up and waves back at all the kids and it just keeps on walking.
Awesome.
Okay, so maybe make friends less hard next time.
You rolled really well.
You have secured a place in history.
You can kind of make up your first part of the travel.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure.
I think this is the first leg of any journey we've done since the Shire that Aerlind has not been using the cane because the ground is wet.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah.
And so he's a
very
little
ineffective.
slower than he has been in the past because he's just figuring out how feet work again.
Luckily, this ground is pretty forgiving.
Maybe a bit too forgiving.
Well, at least we're not in a hurry.
Yes, and I think a slower pace might be wise in general. The ground here is, and he steps down, and it's that like horrible mossy thing that swamps get where there's just water underneath. There's
Mhm.
no ground there.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, the otters have short legs, I think. If we walk too fast, they won't be able to keep up.
They can hopefully swim. There are otters.
It's not enough to swim in right here. It's about
You don't know if there's
yay deep.
if it's hollow under there.
Oh, hadn't occurred to me. Pokes it with a stick.
It's just an otter sleeping in a little cave. A stick just comes in. Like,
Ugh.
as far as attracting an otter, maybe we find a lake, a likely spot near a larger area of water and jangle some things. Make a little presentation of.
I'm wondering how concerned we should be about drawing attention, because if we're not, we can just sing and play music, and I'm sure that would get some attention.
Well,
Which direction did he say the swans were in?
he said they were very deep in the swamp.
Okay. So I don't think we're probably not close to swan territory quite yet. We should be safe to make noise.
We haven't seen anything so far here that seems overly threatening.
No, you've seen like normal swampy things. Like you
Oh,
see
yeah.
snakes and lizards and birds and
But
Not-
like not alligators and
not anything that's come after you. Like
sure.
it seems like normal wildlife that you would expect to be here. Like you're probably being careful. So
Yeah.
even if there was some sort of large reptile or something around, you're not being hunted at the moment.
So yeah, we can just sing a walking song
Yes.
and see if we casually attract any
Otters or wise women.
We travel not quietly.
Yeah.
Okay. You're traveling through. It gets a little confusing. Like there's not really a road. Like after a while, there were paths kind of around Swantown, but as you get deeper, it starts to be there are no roads. There's no pathways that you find. You're just kind of making your way. Sometimes
Is it misty and tree covered enough that we don't really have a good fix on the sun?
No, you can have a pretty good fix on the sun. It's probably late morning, midday. So it's kind of the thing where you like glance up on a hazy day and you're like, okay, that's the sun there.
Sure.
But it's not. You can't see like the perfect. It's like
It diffused.
sphere. It's
There's a
very
bright thing
diffused.
there.
Yeah. There aren't a ton of trees actually. That's
Oh.
sort of something you can use to kind of like
Okay.
guide your way. There's a lot of like shrubbery and brush and things that are used to be trees that are kind of fallen down. And living trees are one of the things. That's one of the little islands of like solid ground over there, or like more solid.
Okay.
There are some that are kind of like at the edges that have big root systems that kind of reach down. But you can tell that, but it's not, you're not thinking, it's like not like the mangroves or something where there's giant trees everywhere,
Right,
Okay.
okay.
if that's more clear.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of like brush and things like that. So it's hard to get like a straight like shot looking. It's not clear, but it's not like a forest.
Sure.
Okay. So we can
Lots of
kind of
water.
keep going in a direction.
Yeah, and
Um,
the ground is muddy, very very muddy. Sometimes you just like suddenly it's water, not deep water, but like less than a foot usually. Every once in a while you're like, oh nope, that's getting deeper. Have to turn this way. So you're just kind of like zigzagging, making your way kind of in the same direction.
Using that nice cane that I've been using to like poke the ground in front of us as we walk to be like, is this ground or is this just moss?
Exactly, yeah. And I'm going to have you roll awareness or scan. If you're like actively looking, you can also roll scan, whichever one's better for you.
I'm gonna roll a different set of dice
They're
that
about...
I've been rolling tonight.
Scanning for sure.
Roll
Yeah, I'm gonna roll
awareness.
scan.
Nope.
All right.
Dice, what are we doing? Okay. Okay, succeed.
Okay.
I definitely succeed.
Okay.
No.
No. Okay.
Nothing horrible, but
Yeah. No.
My dice have decided there's either sub 5 or above 20, and that's it tonight.
Okay.
No middle ground.
Okay.
I got 8 on 3 dice.
Those of you who succeeded start to kind of get the feeling you're being watched. Not like something's going to eat you watched,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
Being observed.
yes, observed is it better. Like, you're being observed.
I think we just lock eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Aerlind goes back to playing his flute.
Runa's gonna switch songs on you to a tale about us helping people. Because she's like, if the wise women are watching us, then we want to communicate to them. We're here to help, not to be a threat.
Instead of singing what was probably a battle song or something very loud and ruckus.
Yeah.
I think like it takes like half a line before Hannar's like, what? All right, different song.
Partway through that song, suddenly, like as you're walking, there's an old fallen tree, like probably fell like a century ago. It's like an old, like when the water had moved or something like that. It used to be dry ground, and now it's not. And it's just this massive kind of like sequoia-sized tree that's rotting out in some part. And just kind of on top of it, there's just like a very normal-looking otter, just kind of looking at you and like kind of got that Ranyar
Mhm.
Fastful look, like super smart. And then when he sees you look at him back, he's like, oh, I'm an otter. Licking my paw. Are they still looking at me? Yep, they're still looking at me. I'm an otter. I'm an otter. Like looking casual otterly.
Runa takes like a little piece of treasure out of her pocket and just like starts angling it into the sunlight so it shines.
What a beautiful creature that is.
That is a very beautiful otter.
Hmm.
Almost,
Yeah, the
almost
otter's
as beautiful
staring
as
at your
this.
tiny
Yeah.
thing in your hand. And then it kind of like scuttles around away. And then like continue walking for a minute. Suddenly 2 otters pop their head up. And one of them is wearing like a little necklace.
I love it.
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
sort of like pieced together from like random things, like tied with little like it looks like dried
Reeds or
vine or
whatever.
yeah,
Oh,
it's just kind of put together. There's like a ring and like a coin that's like kind of broken that has a hole in it and just a bunch of like random knickknacks. And they kind of look at each other and they kind of duck for a minute and like are they whispering? Like it's very like conspiratorial. And then they pop their heads up again and they're looking at Runa, who had the shiny thing.
She's like tossing the shiny thing from hand to hand.
Yeah, they're very interested in the shiny thing. And then they also notice Hannar.
I think he probably takes off his helmet and gives them a little nod, like, "This is your swamp."
They kind of look at each other, and then it's like that nonplussed look, like, oh, they know. So then, like, the one with the necklace kind of, like, gets up and stands on his back legs.
Hello, welcome to our swamp. Would you like a tour?
Hello, Lord Otter.
Yes. My name is Paddlefoot. That's not my name, but it's close as you tall ones can get.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Paddlefoot.
Thank you.
I've heard tell that this is your domain.
Yes.
Lying. Not good at lying.
My companions and I would be honored to have a tour of your swamp. I am Aerlind, this is Runa, and this is Hannar. And we are, among other things, carriers of interesting wares.
Excellent. I am glad to meet your acquaintance, tall ones. It is, of course, there is a fee for the tour of the shiny thing. Please, we like shiny things.
And the other one, like, pops up, doesn't say anything, but just is like,
Oh, of course, we would not think that a tour would be free, of course. And she'll hand them the shiny thing.
what is it?
It's like, let's see. It's a small metal replica of a musical instrument.
Ooh, okay.
So it's like kind of intricately carved. Doesn't do anything,
Yeah.
but it's like just like a little trinket.
Yeah. They're now, like, each pulling on part of it. They're, like, trying to, like,
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, I am Lord Paddlefoot. Da, da, da.
like, and the other one has a little bit of,
No, I did it first. I said them first. I told them about you. Da, 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 da.
and they're now kind of, like, in a little bit of an otter, like, pull-off battle.
Yeah.
And they seem to sort of have forgotten you exist.
Might I interest you in a secondary gift of our gratitude? And Aerlind pulled out a seashell.
They both kind of hold onto the shiny thing.
It's not as shiny.
Oh, well then, yeah, and he just straight up pulls out a coin.
Yeah, and then the one with the necklace, like, drops the little thing to it. And the other one, like, tumbles back because it still was pulling on it. And he, like, runs up.
And Aerlind holds it out.
Yeah.
Takes it from her hand. Excellent. Very good. Yes, this will do nicely for the tour. This is the log.
It's a lovely log.
Yes, this is the great big log of logs. It was a tree one time.
The
Was
biggest
it?
log I have seen
Yes,
today.
it is very good. This concludes the tour. Thank you for coming to the swamp. And yes, I will
Paddlefoot, if you wouldn't mind, we're actually in the market for some of your neighbors as well. We're taking a bit of a tour of the swamp. Would
in
you?
the market for us.
No.
He seems, like, a little nervous about that. Like, kind of, like, straightens his fur a little bit.
We would love to see the sights of this beautiful realm. We ask only for directions.
Oh, directions. I can do directions, yes.
Yes. We're looking for both the wise women and the sleeper,
Oh.
and also the swans.
Oh. Well, they are all somewhat near each other. But there's a fee for the information.
He puts the coin, like, back behind his back. Like, you can't see it, but it's, like, right behind him.
Of course, how could we forget to give you something?
I think Hannar will actually pull out like a ring, but it's big enough that it could go over a foot, so it could be like an otter bracelet. Yeah.
All right. Paddlefoot, like, drops the coin behind his back and, like, rushes as fast as he could over to you.
Yes, I will take you. Yes, yes. Takes it.
Very good.
Okay.
And it's like hammered dwarven runes around this thing, and like
And he looks, like, very, like, protective of it. Like, he's trying to hide it under his arm so his friend doesn't see it.
it was probably like you were in the first 100 customers to visit this gem shop in the dwarven
Yeah.
town or whatever.
Thumb ring for
Yeah,
a dwarf. Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of like the rings that like make your skin green.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And he rushes back to where the coin is now, and now he's got both. He's very excited.
All right, yes, to the old crones and the sleeper and the swans. We should probably go to the swans last so that you can continue to give us gifts and not die. This would be good. This way.
Do the swans also speak as you do?
I don't get close enough to talk to the swan. Why would I want to talk to a swan?
Well, I don't know.
They're
Perhaps.
they're loud. Have you heard them? The
Well-
swan song thing is not a thing. You humans are always so weird about that. I don't understand. They're very loud and angry.
Loud and angry. I have heard that.
Yes.
Indeed. Sometimes you may have heard them if they were loud and yelling at you with words and not just vicious honks.
Not that I was able to understand.
Very good.
Usually I'm trying to eat their eggs though, so they don't like me very much. Anyway,
Ah,
Oh, yes.
so the crones first or the sleeper the thing? I don't know. It's a very tall
Crones first.
crones. Oh right.
yeah, we can go in order of least to most dangerous. Perhaps.
Presumably.
What is the sleeper?
It smells funny. It's very old. I can't see it, but there's a
He does the thing where like they don't know the word for
Like
it.
a
Yeah.
cave or a hole?
but it's a human the
A
person
ruin.
built. Yes, it's like a big made thing.
Tall
Tower.
or low?
Is it like a tree?
Big, like bigger than everything's big to me. But
Would it be taller than the log if the log once again stood upright?
oh, maybe, but very big. You
Oh.
could walk inside. Big
Okay.
It's a
enough
tower.
for you to be inside. Big
Very good.
people like you.
That's very eloquent of you.
Thank you. I am Lord Paddlefoot. Yes. Your language is very strange.
It is.
Do you have your own language?
Of course we do.
Might I hear a little? I would be curious.
He looks over at his friend, and his friend's like, "Me?" And does like a shrug thing.
Incredible.
How lovely.
The other one goes, and it's just like they're both just looking at you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're not very smart.
No.
That's fine. Let them continue on that path of thought.
No, they feel a little self-conscious, and they're like,
No, I didn't say that out loud, though.
"Oh, okay."
I wasn't like, simple otters.
Okay.
I can fool them with my advanced language skill.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
but you do get the idea that they're kind of judgy. Like they're like,
Sure.
"Which one do you think is the best treasure?"
I don't know the dwarf, probably, but I don't know. The human seems like they're gonna give it away more.
Like there's like having this full like conversation, and they so this is like, and then they kind of stop and they're like,
Is that good? Is that all right?
It was
No,
wonderful.
that's-
Thank you.
Yes.
A delight. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's very strange. Most of the tall ones just ask for us to talk to their language. It's very strange.
I actually am quite enamored with the fact that you can speak our language.
Oh, yes. Long ago, your people awoke some of us.
That's what I suspected.
Yes. You have what is the word? In your elf tongue, it's a nindrog, I think, for us. That's the name for otter.
Yes.
Yes. Very strange. Tall people languages.
and then like that.
So the crones?
Indeed.
Yes, please.
Please.
They do the thing where they're kind of like they walk a little bit and then they stop to kind of look because they are very quick to move through. Like it's super
Sure, yeah.
easy for them. So they go a little ways and then they like stop and kind of wait for you and talk to each other.
Aerlind's super slow.
Yeah.
Runa is just pleased that these otters can talk. It's very delightful.
Yeah. Aerlind starts taking anthropological notes about talking otters.
Yeah.
Is this
Legit a
a
thing.
common thing that elves have done?
We as a people have walked the world and awoken some of the children of the Valar, yes.
Ah. What other animals?
All sorts. There's intelligent birds and all sorts of creatures.
Is that why the trees talk?
Well, the trees were partly just awoken by... It's very complicated, actually.
It is.
It's really
Yeah,
complicated.
complicated.
Fair enough. Runa's like, oh, if Aerlind says it's complicated, then I'm not gonna get it.
We don't have time for really complicated.
He's focused on walking.
Yeah. Like, long time ago, like at the beginnings of the world.
Yeah.
The elves were able to kind of awaken and bring things to like a more intelligent place. And then these are like the long descendants of them. And yeah, so eventually they kind of are like, they seem to be getting bored. You kind of notice they kind of start wandering off and they're like, oh, and they go back and like wait for you. They kind of are forgetting.
I'd probably like offer him a snack.
Oh.
Like a piece of bread or cheese or
Yeah, they're very excited about it. And you notice then they don't go so far away from you. they're very food motivated. Shiny and food
Susceptible
motivated.
to bribes.
Yes.
I love them.
but it's a good idea before they decide to just leave us out here in the middle of the swamp because they grew bored.
Yeah.
We can continue to feed them small snacks.
I am trying to like keep track kind of which way we're going.
Mhm.
Make some like notable. Okay, after the spooky tree, we turned left. There was a big rock.
And so finally, like at some point, they both kind of stop, and they seem to be in an argument with each other, like very high pitched, like otter talk, like arguing. And they seem to be so wrapped up in it that they kind of have forgotten you're there. Oh, we're trying to decide where to take you next. So the wise women crones are in a sacred place, where it's supposed to be death for tall ones who enter, and see it. So, could you pay us the rest before we take you there? It is my understanding that tall ones tip people who help them before.
So it's
Indeed.
it's instantaneous death to enter.
He kind of just shrugs.
I'm not sure how tall people rules work.
Have you witnessed other tall people fall dead as they approach this place?
Oh, no. I think it's like other tall people kill them for it.
We know of
Ah.
some that have actually entered this area, and that stands to reason, actually. I'll tell you what. We'll give you another trinket.
Okay.
If you wait, there will be more.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. The shiny? Another shiny? After the shiny now? Not the tip, another thing after the tip?
I have something.
Okay.
And she'll give them. It's another like larger, kind of flat, irregularly shaped coin.
They're very excited with this. He seems to start trying to like tie it like a giant like medallion onto his necklace.
Beautiful.
The tall trees. There are the grown old lady tall people.
We appreciate your help so much.
There's a big pool of water. That is very important. I don't like take a bath or pee in it. It's important.
Sacred water.
I will
Yes.
do neither of
Okay.
those.
Understood.
Mm.
Through the
As
trees.
tempting as it might have been, I can avoid it for now. Thank you.
Do tall people not pee in the water? I don't know.
Some do.
Okay.
They look like each other like, why wouldn't you pee in water? I don't know.
Just not that water.
Oh my god.
The
I
ladies
love
do
them
that.
so much.
They're super baffled by like the idea of they don't know about bathrooms. Like that's where everybody
Yeah,
pees in
everybody
water.
pees in the
Be in the
water.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
So yeah, they seem to like kind of make themselves comfortable and they're busy like with the trinkets.
Yeah, of course.
I love the idea of Lord Paddlefoot, aka Flava Flav,
Yeah, right?
huge coin.
I think as we're going, Aerlind pulls out just like a yard of really heavy waxed thread
Mhm.
because he carries that stuff for sales.
Yeah.
And offers it to them.
And they like take it and they like immediately start like winding it up very neatly. Actually, they're very good at like the little and like
Pretty
Yeah.
decent dexterity.
Yeah. yeah. and
You
then-
can see that they're trying to make something. And he's like, this is for making.
Yeah, yeah. So they're kind of like trying to measure, like pull it out and measure, and like make a necklace for the other one. And they're trying to
Aw.
like, or maybe it can be a belt. Like they're trying to figure it out.
Cute.
Yeah.
I love
They'll
that.
keep them busy for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Gift at the ready.
Oh, right. Yes, we need all of the things that we've
Should we-
gathered.
Announce ourselves before we.
I think so. There seem to be like they pointed out some trees. Does it seem to be like kind of like an opening or like a?
This is
entryway?
it's a little bit of a different place because it's like a ring of very old trees that were
Mm.
probably, it looks like they originally were planted like a certain distance apart, and with age they've kind of grown into each other, so it's almost created like a living wall that like the roots have like wound together, so like about like 8 feet up, then it starts to be like, oh, you can see two separate trunks again. But there is one kind of small break, which is kind of where the otter was indicating.
Okay.
That seems to circle. That seems to go like two trees that are just far enough apart. There's like an opening, a little bit smaller than a regular doorway, that goes into what, if you look up, you can tell it's like a large kind of circle of these incredibly ancient trees. Like even ancient to you, Aerlind. Like these trees are like probably older than Rivendell. Like these are like Lorien big trees.
Okay.
Like yeah, these are.
So
these are
someone
old.
did this.
Yes, this has been done, and it has been here for ages. Like this maybe was here when Thairband was a thing. Like this is old. Like everything about this just screams like ancient and like almost out of time ancient. There's a little bit of like while a lot of old things in this world have like this grace like Rivendell had, this doesn't quite have that. This is like old and just like denying time, like on the verge of rotting, but just something's keeping it from that. It's just a little bit of like these trees are old and powerful, but not super like healthy.
Okay.
Like things like that. There's just a little bit of like a little bit of like just like marsh kind of grossness, a little bit. Just
Okay.
a little bit of life close to death. Not,
A little crone-like.
Yes,
Yeah, a little
exactly.
bit like
There you go.
interesting.
Yeah. So I guess gross isn't quite but it's like the natural kind of like end of cycle.
Slightly
Yes.
decrepit.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you
yes.
go. Decrepit is the perfect
Yeah.
word.
Okay.
Very nice.
Have I heard of, probably not this one, but like of people who did this kind of like natural growth manipulation kind of thing outside of the places that are very known?
No, probably
Okay.
not like this. This
Yeah,
is
this is weird.
very weird. Yeah.
Cool.
This might be something that happens somewhat accidentally. Like it's like these trees were planted this far apart and then they just grew for so long that they just kind of combined with each
Mhm.
other. Like it looks like it has been ages since this happened. So it's not like magic came along and made these trees
Okay.
grow into each other. These trees have just been here that long.
Forever.
Okay.
Okay.
How far are we from these trees?
We'll say you're probably like 50 yards,
Oh,
50
okay.
to 100
Okay.
yards. You're pretty far away. The otters were not super like keen to like.
No, that's cool.
Go
That's
in
cool.
there.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, we brought you here, please."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should approach but not enter,
Yes.
and announce ourselves and offer our gifts.
Yes.
Maybe we sing one of our less rowdy songs from outside.
If there's no response to our announcing, I think that is wise.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll go up to like kind of the opening and like stop just short of like going into the circle of trees. And Runa will like put down her basket with the various like healing herbs and mushrooms and things like that. And
the stuff that
and the
Aerlind,
stuff
yeah.
that Aerlind brought.
Mhm.
Do you want to do the announcement or should I?
You've had quite a bit of success lately. Why don't you?
I will do my best. Or
I think
Hannar?
I look at Aerlind before we get any further, and I look at the giant trees like, talk to these trees?
Yeah.
These talky trees?
I don't believe these ones are awoken.
Oh,
They
okay.
look like they haven't moved for a very long time.
He's like, now they move?
Oh, Hannar.
so now he's even more nervously eyeing the tree. Okay, these are very large trees. If they move, that's a problem.
You can't actually see. There is the opening. You can't actually see through it.
Okay.
The roots kind of overlap. So
Oh,
there's
interesting.
like one root here, so you'd have to make like it's like a little Z pathway where it kind of
Cool.
grows. Yeah, so it like blocks the view. You can tell there's a pathway through, and you can see that it's actually fairly well worn in just this part. So that as you look past it, it's hard to tell. It's a little bit like Aerlind. You probably can smell. Hannar, maybe you can because you're a dwarf, so fires and things are kind of something. But you can kind of smell like what might be like a hearth fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell. Like it might be smoke rising, but in the haze of the swamp and the marsh here, it kind of blends in, so it's hard to tell exactly. But there's definitely something beyond this that you can't see, and it almost feels like it's holding its breath. Like, but you're not, so you can't hear anything, but there's definitely some type of settlement beyond the edge of this.
This place was called Medcot, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she'll set down the offerings, and even though we can't see into there, just kind of call out in her best booming himbo adventurer voice. Greetings, wise women of Medcot. We are Runa of Bree, Aerlind of Mithlond, and Hannar of Durin's folk. We come with respect, seeking your wisdom and entrance to your lands, and with gifts.
It feels like you almost can feel like if a forest could intake breath. Like if it was holding its breath a moment ago, it kind of breathes in. And then there's just kind of like a waiting. And then you can almost feel like the aura around the place relax slightly. And I'm not going to have you roll because it's very clear that you were being watched.
Okay.
And you kind of hear a voice. Again, like it's strange, like it's hard to tell where it's coming from. Like it seems to be in the air all around you, even though that doesn't make sense. And it's, travelers, this is a forbidden area. The sacred pool beyond is death to any who lay their eyes upon it who are not of the blessed. I suggest you remain where you are. And like the voice is like strange. It sounds very old, but at the same time, like almost there's like a childlike tone to it.
Interesting.
And it just has a strange weight to it as well.
We will do as you say and wait out here. We do seek your counsel. If you would be so kind as to come out and speak with us, we would be pleased to present you with this offering.
And then, like, kind of from the mists, from this opening, this old lady appears. She is crone-like in every way. She's incredibly frail looking. Like it almost seems as if she has no muscle at all. It seems almost like kind of very pale skin, just draped over her bone. She's bent like almost double, and like her head, she's like has to lift her head to look at you. And she carries like a long walking stick. The walking stick has a decoration that's like wrapped around the top, and then just like tons of large white feathers, like are draped off this walking stick. She's covered in like just plain dark colored cloth, and her hair is at the bottom. It's almost like greenish, but it's stark white, and it may just have been time in the marsh that has turned like the longer parts green. And she looks at you. Her eyes like sparkle, though. There is wisdom and knowledge and life in those eyes that her frail body belies.
Okay.
And she walks towards you with surprising like purpose and grace. Even though she's bent double, there's no hesitation. She uses her cane to walk, but there's still like she strides towards you in a way that seems discordant with her appearance.
Cool.
And she says, I am Mother Wedrith. What is it you seek? Do you need healing for? And she seems like just suddenly she kind of like is looking at you and like the strange party before her. What is it you seek?
Mother Windrith, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. We do not seek healing. We sought to pay our respects to you, as this is your domain. We are here investigating some rumors that we heard. The sleeper, the swans, and the delightful otters that we have met on the way in.
Yes, delightful. You are adventurers, then. She seems like unsurprised and a little unimpressed.
I consider myself a scholar.
Welcome, Lord Elf. It is long since one of your ilk has joined us in these dark marshes.
It has been a wonderful change of scenery to find you here.
Well, she kind of like looks a little bit at the offering and kind of like pokes at it. What have you brought?
We have brought some herbs and mushrooms from the wilds around Rivendell, and Master Aerlind has gathered some herbs as well from the gardens at Rivendell. We hear that you are adept at healing and thought it might be useful.
Indeed. Very, very nice. She takes, with surprising speed and dexterity, she pulls a very sharp little like crescent knife from her hip and like slashes a little bit at the bag, and it like falls open, and she almost like is making sure that that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then seems satisfied and like puts the knife back and like pulls up the bundle and kind of wraps it. This is a wise offering to bring. I will consult with my sisters and see what they think. We will speak with you on the morrow, if we find you worthy.
If I may, while Hannar and I are not the most well-versed in the healing arts, our companion Runa is a somewhat kindred spirit, and is the reason we had any knowledge to pick and bring such offerings. So, though we might seem like regular travelers, Runa is of a similar mind as far as I've been told of your people.
That is evidenced by your wise choice of gift. But my sisters and I live by consensus. None of us alone may make a decision. To let you pass into our home is an unusual choice to make. But you seem to be unusual
So,
We have been told that, yes.
If you will have us wait on until the morrow, I must ask if you have any aversion to music, as we are quite drawn to it and might play.
Oh, she seems a little like flattered. Young man, we are so old, most of us can't hear anything, even next door, and right next to us. You may play your hearts out. Although I would suggest perhaps keeping it down, because the ghost bird might get you. But as far as us, you will not disturb us. The sacred pool keeps us quite calm at night.
All right.
Well,
A
to the morrow then. And
bird that is also a ghost.
It's like an excellent example of the thing she was just saying about being very, very like hard of hearing. She continues to walk away.
No, I didn't anticipate an answer.
Yeah, just
And she kind of fades into this little strange doorway in the mists.
This swamp is just full of things.
Perhaps she meant the swans. I've heard swans are white.
they
and
are white.
So are ghosts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it is one of these swans that has passed away yet refuses to leave.
Or perhaps there's a ghost bird. Why are there so many ghosts?
Another rumor to investigate.
And we left the bird cage back in Bree.
We should go
I
and
suspect these birds will not fit.
Who
No.
knows how ghosts work?
I think we might do best to go and stop Lord Paddlefoot from fleeing and maybe lure them with some trinkets to guide us tomorrow.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yes. And then find a place that's dry adjacent to sleep.
Well, we'd left them on a small...
Yes, but it was very wet. I know, everything's very wet.
I do believe we'll struggle to light a campfire tonight.
Hmm.
True. Aerlind, have you ever slept in a tree?
Oh, plenty of times. There's just not very substantial trees here.
I know. We could probably find one.
Nope.
No?
No.
I am not sleeping in a tree.
Fair enough.
I'm sure we'll figure out something. And watches would be in order for certain because of the ghost bird potential.
Yes. We shall definitely take watches. Ghost bird or swan. I want to see that coming.
Yes. As Aerlind tries to remember if swans, like geese, have teeth, I think
They
he's
do.
going to start to walk back towards the otters.
Oh, good news. My sword glows in the presence of ghosts, so if a bird shows up and the sword glows, you know it's a ghost.
Ah,
That is shockingly not relieving.
Well, knowledge is power.
anything that might give us a slight warning, I would take.
That's true.
Especially if the ghost can approach invisibly.
Or from the air.
All right, we're going to have us end there
Yes.
for this session. So we will start session number 17 next time with you outside of this strange crone encampments, maybe with a ghost bird, maybe with some swans, definitely with some otters who are definitely looking to get some more shiny stuff from you as we continue on this adventure in Swanfleet.
I love them. They're good little guys.
They
So
are
good.
Very good.
Completely out of character. I just yesterday saw apparently there's an otter cafe in Japan,
Yes.
Mhm.
and you can hang out with the otters and they will just frolic about you.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been session number 15.
16.
I got it right in the beginning of the Unsung Tales Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're listening later or watching live or watching later. Thank you so much to our chat mod, James V. You've done an amazing job tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. And thank you to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. We are a ad-free, sponsorship-free channel because we want to play what we want, when we want, and say whatever we want. So our amazing Patreons keep us ad-free and independent, and we really appreciate you. You can join the heroic ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. And let's go around the table and reintroduce ourselves and tell us what's up. And we're going to start over here with Dave again.
Ha!
Because he
Ha!
doesn't expect it. So go ahead.
Surprise!
Hi everybody. I am still Kadave. Things are busy. If you happen to be in the Southern California area, you can come out and see the band that I loiter around, the Poxy Boggards, and their adjacent bands, the Merry Wives of Windsor and Sportive Tricks at the Rogues Reef stage at our Southern California Renaissance Pleasure Fair. If you do come out, stop by the merchandise table at the back of the Rogues Reef stage while the Poxy Boggards are either just finishing up or on stage themselves and say hi. I would love to meet people, so it's super fun to do that. And then if you like computers and being a computer gaming nerd, I'll be posting a series of pictures as I finally commence building my new computer.
Yay.
My war with the Dutch company that didn't have enough fans available has ended. So now I am supplied thanks to a very nice person on Reddit and Venmo. So there we go.
Woohoo.
Love a computer build.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kai. I've been Aerlind. You can find me here in a week, continuing to scream about the beautiful world that Kimi keeps painting for me to just run around and write a bunch of notes about. You can find me on Sunday in the next episode of the 5e pirate adventure that I am a horrible sea pirate druid in another sea elf somehow. Called What We Do in the Shallows on Matihi's channel. You can find all that information on... Oh, I'm Estelle of Imladris on all social media platforms. You can find that information about What We Do in the Shallows on my Twitter. And then tomorrow is the penultimate episode of The Party, which is a web series about people who play tabletop, and the friends and the insane choices that people make along the way.
Yeah.
Of having friends that play tabletop. It is a comedy web series. The 6th and penultimate episode, as I said before, drops tomorrow with some fun special guests and more madness. I was the costume designer for the show, and boy, it has been a blast. So go check that out as well. You can find that at Party Web Series on all social media.
Awesome. And I am Sam. I have been Runa of Bree, befriender of swamp people. You can find me on the internets at Red Pandroid on most of the socials. If you go and check out my Instagram or Twitter, you can get links to my shop, stiarnastore.com, where I sell clothing that is made with my artwork. My current collection is both ominous and cute, so if you like either of those things, go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am Kimi. I've been your Loremaster. You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl pretty much everywhere on the internet. If you also at Happy Jacks RPG, that's me too. And I design games. If you go to goldenlassogames.com, I have my game Decima, which is a tarot-based world-building tool that has a beautiful art by Samantha. It's really pretty. And I'm also beta testing. It's more than beta testing now. It's been like 3 years of testing and things like that. But my PBTA sci-fi found family hack called Starscape. You can download that for pay what you will right now on itch.io. That means eventually when I have the full game, you'll get the whole game for whatever you paid then. So you can do that. And I think that's everything. Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you'd like to join the Happy Jacks Discord, we do have a very large, very active Discord community with like a bunch of like game days coming up and like an online con. It's all run by the amazing people on the Discord. So if you go to happyjacks.org/Discord, you can come play games, talk about games. There's a whole bunch of channels that don't have anything to do with our shows. But if you're a designer, if you're like costuming, if you like food, like there's stuff for everybody. So come and join us at happyjacks.org/discord, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.